The Oscars unveiled new guidelines this week that are designed to promote diversity and inclusion both in front of and behind the camera. But the rules are inspiring confusion and controversy as studios and filmmakers try to figure out what the mandates mean for their movies. Does this go into effect immediately? No, it does not. The 2020 to 2021 rules under the COVID-19 pandemic are unchanged. For the next 2 years, the requirements set forth by AMPAs are not mandatory. In an effort to collect data and put these practices into effect, studios will need to simply fill out the form and include it with the other filing paperwork when submitting for Best Picture. This will be for Oscars 2022 and Oscars 2023. The requirements will not go into effect until Oscars 2024. I'm producing an Oscar hopeful that Sam Mendes is directing about 2 British soldiers in northern France during World War I. Do I have to scrap it? No, you do not. First, even if the film were to not meet the threshold, it can still be submitted to the Academy in all categories except for Best Picture. But 1917 is a useful illustration of how the new standards would apply. Although it might not qualify for the A category of diversity in lead roles, ensemble cast, or storyline, it could easily qualify in the required 2 of the 4 categories. In the case of that 2020 nominee, it would be eligible under Standard B1, Creative Leadership and Department Heads, and B2, Other Key Roles, with only 1 out of the 2 categories required to qualify. Mendes, who is part West Indian, would qualify, along with his co-writer Krysty Wilson Cairns. Mendes' film also has Naomi Dunn as makeup department head, Rachel Tate as sound editor and Pippa Harris and Jainan Tengran as producers. Under Standard D, Audience Development, the Academy has left this purposefully vague. The studio and/or film company has multiple in-house senior executives from among the following underrepresented groups in marketing, publicity, and distribution. This makes no mention of number or percentage requirements on the leadership level. In the case of distributor Universal Pictures, the team includes distribution president Veronica Kwan Vandenberg and co-president of domestic marketing Dwight Keynes, and it's likely the executive makeup would meet the criteria. To qualify for Best Picture in 2025, all you have to do is check 2 out of the 4 standards, and 1917 achieved it without much difficulty. A deeper dive would probably reveal that it likely went above and beyond the threshold. So now the Academy is telling me how to make my movies? No, they aren't. In fact, they're not telling you how to do anything. They are, in essence, redefining the term Best Picture and what it means. Obviously, that's subjective, because the term is interpreted differently from group to group. You have one group that believes it's the best overall quality of the film. Can a movie like Grand Hotel win Best Picture, without being nominated for any other single award and win justifiably? For this faction, the answer is yes. You may not have the best sets, costumes, or performances within your film, but the marriage of those entities together creates an experience that is both pleasant and memorable for a voter. The second group looks at the movie as the sum of all of its parts. When a film wins Best Picture, the producers are the recipients of the statuette, and not the director, unless they also serve as a producer. This club has bad vibes about Gladiator winning the top prize in 2001 while its director, Ridley Scott, went home empty-handed. We often hear the term labor of love when referring to a film's production, and for this, filmmakers build a relationship with collaborators in the industry, based on respect and trust. The Academy's decision does not infringe upon your process. It only asks that if you have a team you trust, you offer that expertise to the next generation and underrepresented groups. And when your process has ended, and it's time to distribute your film, ensure that they also reflect the same values of inclusion and look at the cinematic world as a melting pot of different consumers, and not just the 1-week qualifying theaters in New York and LA.